Eu vou então começar aqui. Tá chegando aí o vídeo? Ok. Bom, eu queria então iniciar agradecendo o convite ao José Neto e a CITEVE, e queria desejar a todos um ótimo dia de conferência, né? Bom, o José pediu que eu fizesse a palestra a fala em inglês, então eu vou começar. So I would like to thank José Neto and CITEVE for the invitation and send best wishes for everybody in the conference. As we have only 1 hour to divide between the guests, I will be as fast as possible. When you talk about video games, people rightly think about fun. Of course, fun is an essential component of video games, and it is what distinguishes software, multimedia presentations, and simulators. But beyond the game we focus on entertainment, there are also the serious games, which are all the other video games whose primary purpose is not fun. These games have different purposes, from selling products or keep customers. To teach, evaluate, train, and sort. Many of these games do not come out of the studio, but from advertising agencies, program officers, as well as schools and universities. Video games for training and education are a kind of serious games. They can be designed and made from a variety of methodologies and kinds of thoughts, as well as education itself. When you think about education, almost always remember lectures in which student is treated as a tabula rasa and provided of experience and knowledge. Rest with the teacher to grant this experience and take them to the next step. Many serious games for training and education use this kind of approach for transmit and test acquired knowledge. They reproduce this canonical mode of education and often manage to fit them with several technological advantages. For example, the students can study at home without the inconvenience of walking. They can repeat the lesson and exercise as many times as they like. They can track its progress in the various evaluation steps rather than just a final test, and can perform searches and queries from forums or the internet. Several of these games don't even bother with the entertainment component, matching them to simulators, and even with all the similarities and advantages with this kind of education, even those games are still stigmatized and condemned, often as things for children. Would be thought of those characters, situations presented in the game, just reproduce the environment of the Industrial Revolution's manufacture and the classroom is not enough? It's really hard to know where all these mysteries come from, but we can try to clarify and show some cases. Just as it is important to understand the evolution of video game, from romantic creation to current multimedia conglomerate, it would be important to make a quick update of what is or should be the education in the 21st. And when I say fast, it should be really fast, because we could not even attempt to compare a measly 40 years of video games with over centuries and centuries of education. In this long journey, we had the inclusion of important technologies such as writing, printing, cameras, and computers. We had both methodological proposals as the practice in the classroom by Celestine, constructivism by Vygotsky and Piaget, and we used to try to understand the influences of postmodernism, such as pluralities of information and globalization. But when we enter a classroom, we met up with boards and lectures. It seems that very little has changed from Greek idea to us. Of course, not all are attached to these models. The vast majority, as of common sense, are still stuck on it. The same common sense that forgets how children are educated with shapes, colors, and these playful, pleasurable educations goes slowly give rise to handouts, books, abstracts, and several other instruments that aim students to enter the university. After the process, we began to see early childhood education as merely jokes, and adult education as something serious, void of pleasure, with methodical short-term goals, getting into college, getting promoted, getting money, etc., etc. In this deterministic, pragmatic, and complex model, it is important to get being lonely under a great deal of information, searching for individual discoveries, still seems the most appropriate formula for success. Luckily, not all institutions feel this way. Several pioneering schools seek to put the focus on students, looking for their learning styles, their learning, multiple intelligence, and competencies. In the United States, the Edifício Foundation, the Big Teacher Company, some extra class programs like Playing for Keeps, New Zealand's Wellington Girls College, in Canada in Greenwood College School, Scotland Learning and Teaching Public School in Scotland, and Navi, Brazil from Oi Futuro Foundation have achieved excellent results not only in raising the score of the students' tests, but also in a reduction in dropout rate. This rate is a growing problem in schools and happens not only by economical problems but also by the low motivation of students who cannot maintain interest in school. It seems to speak a different language from theirs.